Oh my god.
Oh my God, this man.
I needed to add something like weird at the end, or else it wasn't me. I'm sorry. Hey guys, this is Billy, and you're listening to the Rising Rush podcast.
All right, welcome to the Rising Rush podcast, where we talk everything Dragon Ball Legends related, such as news, meta, hot takes, you name it. I'm your host, A-Town, alongside Opsto, Desla, and Glow. And before we continue, we actually have a special guest I would like to introduce to the listeners here. He's gone God rank over 50 times. He has a total following of about 12,000 spread between Twitch and Twitter. He's also your Ultra Space Time Champion, 73 and 74. He's also lived long enough to get good and not die as a noob. Please welcome Billy to the podcast. Welcome.
Yo, what's good? Yo, thank you for that quote on the bio, by the way. I was not expecting that.
Of course, man. Yeah, we got to throw a little bit of originality here. We want people to know the type of people we bring onto the podcast. We're not, just talking out of our
Wait,
butts here.
what quote?
It's on his Twitter account.
The get good.
The get
Oh,
good.
this
The,
Twitter
the
bio.
Batman quote, yeah, get good or die. Die noob.
I do research. But before we get into the actual news and updates for the weekly reset of March 6th of 2024, we want to take a special moment to show our appreciation for Akira Toriyama. For those who may not be aware, from the official Dragon Ball page and other news outlets, it was announced that he passed away as of March 1st. The world, took his death as a surprising shock. We're going to go around the room and just talking about how the series and his work has impacted our lives for the good. So I'll start off with you, Billy. How has Akira Toriyama's work impacted you, growing up? Because I feel like for everybody, especially you being in the gym, you have to be inspired in some way.
Yeah. So growing up, Dragon Ball wasn't directly a part of my life as a child as much as some. Like I remember watching it on Toonami and watching those Raditz reruns all the time, and with Bleach and Naruto and all that stuff, and not really fully grasping what was going on. But my first like real introduction to Dragon Ball was probably Budokai 3 and playing
Hey.
through the series, and I remember vividly going through like the Namek missions constantly, like just like flying around the map doing like all like the side missions and stuff, and then like fighting Frieza. And just growing up, like you knew what Dragon Ball was, but like you didn't really fully grasp the concept of it, or at least I didn't. And then as I got older and I kind of like rediscovered anime through other media that took inspiration from Dragon Ball, like Naruto and One Piece and Bleach, right? I sat down and I rewatched all of Z in about 2 weeks. I
Wow.
remember this specifically. I think I was like a junior or senior in high school. 2 weeks, I binged all of Z. Like I spent all nighters, and then immediately after watched Dragon Ball. So I watched Z then Dragon Ball, and it really fortified a lot of work mentality into me because I am an athlete. Exercise, I weightlift, I played sports in high school, and Vegeta was a big inspiration for me. Like, yes, I'm a Vegeta fan, but it's because of the work hard and push yourself to those limits beyond mentality.
For sure.
And I'm not a big dude. I'm like 150 pounds. I'm 5'5", and I'm basically Vegeta. uh, and so I resonated with that, like on a personal level. I took that to the gym with me for football and track and field.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually that guy that downloaded a lot of the Budokai 3 soundtracks and some like old like
Mm-hmm.
2010 like 2000 AMVs onto my phone. I played them in the gym, in the school gym.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and a lot of kids that like didn't really watch Dragon Ball, they were into it because it was just like a lot of metal and then like the yelling obviously in the back. So
Yeah.
it helped really fortify just like a really strong work hard mentality for me. And it obviously brought me to where I am today with content creation and created friendships that I have now, like being here.
For sure.
So
Like I feel
definitely
like
impacted me for the positive.
For sure. And I feel like with Dragon Ball being as big as it is, I mean, they even have their own blimp during like Thanksgiving and such. Like even
Hmm.
my mom, and she's like over 60, she knows who Goku is. She knows about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And as for, some of the viewers or listeners that are listening in, like I'm an old dude, like I'm the oldest out here. I remember rushing in at 5 p.m. on the dot when Toonami was airing Dragon Ball, where they constantly kept going through the Raditz and the Saiyan saga up until mid Frieza saga or Namek saga, and then resetting right back to Raditz saga and going over and over. And
Every time.
every time, and I could imagine like when they finally started releasing new episodes, like that was it. Like the streets were clear, everybody was
Yeah.
inside, hyped, ready to go, listening to what's going to happen next with the series. And as for like how it, and I'm gonna try to not choke up here because you know this, it really hit home for me just playing all the games from Budokai 1, 2, 3, you know, Tenkaichi, all of them. You know, just staying up with the series, being in the crib, screaming Kamehameha or trying to go Super Saiyan in real life. We know dang well you can't go Super Saiyan in real life like that.
Yeah, oh yeah. I've
It
tried it.
I think we've all tried it at some point. Just either
We
with
haven't tried
friend,
hard enough.
we're not that one guy. I still remember that one video where the black kid was
Oh yeah.
powering up. Like he's got to be hurting right now after hearing the news. So it's
Just to add a positive light to the matter, just another like recent memory that I have is when they were airing the TOP,
mm-hmm.
and I was a sophomore in college, and I had just made my anime friends through me putting up like old drawings in my dorm room like a nerd, and people walking by and being like, "Yo, is that Naruto?" And I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Yo, I love Naruto," and so. You know, like we watched we played Storm together, like in the Commons, and
Mm-hmm.
played Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's we were talking about that before. I brought decks to school, and I had like a group of like 6 people. We dueled all the time, like in the commons. But anyways, when the TOP was airing, I vividly remember hooking up a laptop and in the common rooms, and we had like 20 people in there,
Wow.
all watching the Tournament of Power, the finale. And I still talk to those people today. You know, I graduated college in 2019, so you know we still talk, and
So
there's
it's
a lot of friendships.
a lot of friendships, and it's not just regular friendships, it's long lasting friendships.
Hmm.
Like the people who I've connected with growing up, especially in like the anime scene, like I still talk to them today and they got kids and families and stuff now, and we still jump on the game. Like we'll be on the PlayStation or the PSN, we'll chop it up talking about anime. We were talking mad crap about that Daima that's about to drop, but now after this I'm gonna have to watch it. I wasn't gonna watch it before, but now I'm gonna watch it. But we'll pass the bucket over to you, Glow. How has Toriyama's work impacted your life?
Oh man, that God, this shit really hitting me right now because like I'm a Nigerian kid, born over there but raised here in Jersey, raised in
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. I was around like 9 or 10. My aunt decided to go to the local video store back with VHSs. Yeah, I'm that fucking old. And she bought some just random VHSs she saw there, and one of them she picked up was the Boo Saga, and it was the fight of Gotenks versus Super Boo in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and it was honestly one of the, in all honesty, it was like the first fight we have, or my first exposure to Dragon Ball, and me, my cousins, and my little brother we were watching like, bro, this fight is crazy. We were After we watched it, we were scrambling through the box. Is there another Dragon Ball Z thing? The next one was Ultimate Gohan.
Oh, that was a good fight too.
Boo, right when Boo absorbed Gotenks, and we're just like, "There's no way." My aunt walked in, and she's like watching it with us. She's like, "Hold on, this is a really cool series." Next, and she's like, "I'll look into this."
And that
Next
was the
month,
original, right?
yeah,
Mm.
the original Bruce Falconer score and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh.
Oh man, the
So like when
soundtracks,
and
godly.
I always joke with people whenever they say like, "Oh, you like Head Shala?" I was like, Head Shala was not what I grew up with. I grew up with like the American intro with like the rock version
Rock the
because I
Dragon.
no, not even Rock the Dragon. It was like I don't know if Billy has ever heard it. The one that goes like dun dun
Oh
dun
yeah,
dun
yeah, with
dun dun.
the
Dun.
electric
Dun.
solo. Yup, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
No, yeah, because the next month my aunt bought the full bundle of
Wow.
all of Z with all the movies and GT. Me and my cousin being idiots, we just like, decided to just binge the movies. We first ones we watched were Fusion Reborn, Wrath of Dragon, and like right after that, we just started watching GT. We're like, bro, this is the greatest thing ever. Then we watched the Boo Saga, but we ended up like skipping out on Namek and Saiyan Saga, which
The
when I
best
as I got older,
ones.
I went back and rewatched in proper order. But as that happened, like some point in middle school, I started putting on a lot of weight, and then I reached at some point like early high school, I was like 260, And
And
then, because I was a smart kid, but I got into a lot of fights. But I was to a point where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm like smart, but I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna go to like the army. So I decided to go to West Point for a bit. And then while I was like losing weight and training for it, my constant thoughts were like, my three favorite characters of all time are Broly, Vegeta, and Goku. And my like dream physique is Broly. Because I was like, I want to be jacked. I'm like, screw cardio. I don't care about none of that. Broly inspired me through his physique, Goku through his mentality of, never give up. And
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta's always resonated with me with the idea of no matter how strong you are never above forgiveness and you are never above the idea of you can make mistakes and you can become a better person and you can care more for people. So, and even when I went into the army for a bit, like everybody loved Dragon Ball. Like there was a point where we were in the barracks one time. We had like a Budokai tournament, and it started
wow.
fighting. It almost got into fights because we held that, and we started putting money on the line. It was crazy. And then the Tournament of Power was premiering. Me and my boys from high school, like the whole group chat was hitting up, like, yo, like it's crazy. Like it's to the point where like even when we hoop, we see some people got wristbands with Dragon Ball.
Mm.
Yep.
And it's like it's constantly inspired me. Like Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was one of my first games on the Wii. I remember me and my cousin, we could not remember the super moves, so every mid fight we pause and like inspect the menu for like, all right, how do you do a Kamehameha again? And it's just what that series meant to me for like all that. I remember listening to, because I didn't really listen to a lot of rock and heavy metal growing up. I was mostly rap and R&B. And then Dragon Ball like really helped me be like, I'm gonna appreciate this kind of music more, a little more rock, a little more heavy metal,
Yep.
and just everything about the whole series just kept like inspiring me, and it just kept it was one of those things that one of my favorite quotes is from Wrath of Dragon, and even the video games referencing too, when Goku says, "If I don't, who will?" And that's constantly been the thing that's always told me, like, don't ever half-ass anything, because if you don't do it, what's to know that somebody else won't do the right job thing? If you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do the right thing, at least you, if the right thing needs to be done, at least make sure that you try and do it. And it's the point where like my parents never really liked anime like that. So my mom and dad would always call it Banjay Boo, and they'd always just be like, "Oh, what is this?" But they know what Dragon Ball is. You show them some other anime, they don't care, but they see Dragon Ball Z and they recognize
They're
it.
like, well, I know what that is. I know
Yeah.
They know
Goku.
what
I know
that is.
Vegeta.
So it's
I like that you brought up that quote, by the way. I like that quote specifically resonated with you because that's very real, right? Like if you don't do something, who's gonna do it?
yeah.
So yeah, that's a
Exactly.
good one.
Exactly. It's in like for what that series meant to me, like my aunt ended up becoming a weeb because of it. Love her. Me and my cousins to this day, like we still watch Dragon Ball, we still talk about it, we still keep watching the shows and everything. Remember watching all the AMVs online, remember reading Dragon Ball AF, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was sad
Oh
that
my
like, oh,
god.
and then I remember I was sad, like, oh, the author says he got a new job. He's not gonna do it no more. Come to find out, the new job is it's Toyotaro. He's not working on actual Dragon Ball, and it was insane to me.
Yeah. So
Like,
whose first anime AMV for Dragon Ball had Linkin Park on it? Because
I
I
think
felt
it was
like
because there was an original one that had millions of views, and I remember it got deleted and then re-uploaded.
So I actually recently rediscovered a AMV that was like I think probably the first one I saw, and I don't think it was like a metal one. I think it was more of like a EDM mix.
mm.
But it was Gallic Gun versus Kamehameha. It went crazy because a lot of it was just Vegeta like, who do you think you are? You're beneath me. Yeah, it just went crazy.
So let's pass the bucket over to Desla. How has Toriyama's work impacted you?
So, just a heads up for this. I'm gonna do my best to be a little brief. If I drag it out, I'm probably gonna get emotional. So
It's all
I
good,
don't
bro.
wanna, I don't wanna do that. Without Dragon Ball, I wouldn't have experienced, met, or even done a large majority of things in my life up to this point. And I never personally met the guy. It's been a part of my life now for over 10 years. I was part of the generation of kids that got exposed to it through Nicktoons, through Kai. I remember bumping into it. The first episode I ever watched was the episode where Goku was training King Kai's planet for the Saiyan invasion, and
Oh, that's such
I
a
was
good
like,
one.
dude, what the hell is this? I was like so confused at the time. I was like 10 or something like that. and I stuck with it. And I was invested. Like, there's so much that I have to owe to not just Dragon Ball but Toriyama, from what he was able to create and put forward into the world and left his mark with. And sorry,
You're good, bro.
mm,
Well, we'll take it from there. Like it's definitely hitting everybody in the feels since yesterday. Like I ain't gonna lie, I woke up this morning and I was just scrolling to my Twitter feed and I saw everybody that was posting like different clips of like what inspired them, and I tried to make some coffee and I started crying. I was like, man, like even though I don't know him, I felt like I do. And the way that his work impacted me as a kid and a lot of you guys too, like it kind of paved the way of like how our personalities have molded to who we are today. So
yeah.
it's real heavy, and we're gonna try to lighten the mood a little bit. We'll pass it over to you to Opsto. How has Toriyama's work impacted you?
All right, so I remember when they were first airing it on Nicktoons. I had a thing when I was a kid where I would try every single show that came on, no matter what, for like 3 episodes. I remember I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai when it first came on, and I was super invested, super invested. And then I got crushed when I saw Goku die for the first time. And immediately I went to Amazon and I begged my parents to buy me Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And from that game to this day, I played that game so much that I have a scar on my palm.
The
This
beam
is not even a
clashes.
joke.
Rolling the beam
Yeah,
clashes.
literally from the beam clashes.
Oh.
Like, bro, I played that game so much. I competed in local tournaments because it was so much fun.
Wow.
How many controllers has that game broke? That's what I really want to know.
None for me. None for me.
Your controller didn't snap?
No.
Yeah, I actually still have my original PS, like the fat PS2 with the fan on the back of it.
Wow.
And I still have my original controllers that came with it, and they still function, and they survived Budokai 3 and Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
They survived. That is
Yeah.
hilarious. From video games to anime to manga to like life decisions, from just creating a moral compass. Toriyama, I know you don't know us personally, but our condolences goes out to your family, your loved ones, everybody who was impacted. And we will continue to appreciate your work as time goes on. We know that your work will continue to inspire new manga creators, new artists, new developers, new games, because the influence of how the anime pushes forward it shows. Again, I'm not gonna get choked up. We're gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna leave a moment of silence for about a minute, and then we'll move on to the agenda starting now. All right. So now that we've expressed our emotions here and talked about that, let's get into some Dragon Ball Legend related stuff here. So let's get into the news and updates from March 6th of 2024. Again, we have our special guest, Billy. He's going to be giving his input with some of the meta that we're talking about today. The Proud Saiyan Step Up banner, the one that has the Super Vegeta and the Android 16, that banner has been updated. It's now giving 600 Z power. So for anyone who is still summoning for that, just please be aware of the Z power decrease. PvP.
You shouldn't be summoning.
You shouldn't be summoning at all. But hey, if you're a Vegeta fan, just don't expect you to do what Super 17 is doing and Ultra Gohan is doing. That's
I needed to hear that.
all call outs. We just want to throw that out there. He's great, but he's not in the top 10. for anyone's list. Now, as for PvP, that has reset, and it's a special theme being the Cell Games Part 2. That is going through the 26th of March, and there's also new powerful opponent equipment alongside of completing matches on that. Golden Frieza from the Frieza Resurrection Saga received a Zenkai, the first one from the year 1 anniversary. So we'll get into that, talking about what he's doing. There's a new free-to-play Blue Brawly that has been released. Seems like he's blast-based. Co-op has reset as well with a unique powerful opponent equipment. Green Brawly from the Second Coming. He's also received a unique platinum equip. We'll talk about that as well. The Legend Spring Adventures has arrived, so we're going into that phase into the new season. And then as for the meta talks, the topic will be, is Ultra Gohan the new FSK? Is the meta all over again? We'll kind of give our input if that's what the impact is. And then from there, we'll have a special guest segment where we'll be doing a question round with Billy, and then we'll get into the Dragon Ball related news. Let's go ahead and talk about the equips and the new units here. So we'll start off with the Zenkai Frieza. Looking at him, I mean, he's a great bench for LOE, which currently there's no green LOE that can utilize him in the meta right now. So take it as you may. Maybe we're planning on getting a new Sparking or new LF that will be released shortly within the powerful opponent campaign, since looks like that's what we're leaning towards. But outside of that, I mean, he's not really doing anything. We'll pass it over to you, Billy, and see if we can get your input. Have you seen this Frieza during your grind for PvP ranking, or is he non-existent?
So, okay, I'd like to start off by saying LOE needs more help.
Of course.
Yeah, no. Like Frieza, and I say that in the sense that Frieza is good, but LOE is so bad that he's not going to do anything. Like, it's just not impactful because the team itself is just not there right now. I basically pulled an all-nighter last night. Accidentally. Like I was just playing PvP and it just got so late. I was like, I'm not gonna get enough sleep. I'm just gonna stay up. So I just kept playing, and I'm top 30 right now.
Oh wow.
And I did not run into a single golden Frieza. Not once. I ran him when he was Zenkai 3 on LOE, and the team was just horrible. Like
Wow.
it was basically just Goku Frieza, and then like Golden Frieza was like kind of doing something, but he was Zenkai 3, so like, I couldn't really get like a big grasp on it. But I did run him a bit on like a powerful opponent team where I leadered him with the purple final counter cell and then revival cell. And the double AoE was actually kind of doing some work. Again, Zenkai 3, so like he was definitely missing out on a lot of damage, but I could see the potential for that kind of working a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he synergized really well with Revival Cell because both pull blasts on entry, so like you kind of just like extend combos for days. And then obviously Purple Cell, we all know how long he can go for once his gauge fills up.
Oh, 100%. Especially if he's going to attack too. He gets that additional draw card speed and damage. He's hitting you like a truck.
Oh yeah.
But for your initial impressions from what he has and what LOE needs, because we know Frieza Force is definitely like a blast-paced team, but like Cooler, he's been strike-based. There's been some free-to-play Coolers out there, but I don't see people really, running him on teams, especially in like the top ranks. What do you want to see out of like powerful opponent or LOE to really bring them into the meta?
So LOE specifically, they just need a good wall. Like Goku Frieza on LOE is actually still relatively good because they have just the access to the free Zenkai bench, and that's like literally it. Like they have like 2 to 3 Zenkai buffs natively without needing to like really hinder the rest of the team. But they really do need like that defensive utility unit because first form Frieza, as good as he is as support, isn't gonna last. Or it just hasn't. That's just it. And then Revival Frieza's kind of just done. Yellow full power Frieza could have been something, but they dropped the ball on that one.
Sure did.
So I think they're due for another revival or just like a really strong endurance unit like Universal Spirit Bomb Goku.
Yeah.
Or even like a unit like not exactly like Super 17, but just one that like can remove buffs and reduce his sub count. So because Go Frieza is basically the rush control. So I guess technically they don't really need endurance, right? Because if you get rushed, you're just swapping to Go Frieza. So
it sounds like they need more of an anchor that's going to be able to get cover null a little easier. along with some additional utility at like debuffing their opponents, somewhat
Yeah.
controlling the field, similar to how like Super
Red
17 has his
Beast, Super
Red Beast,
17. Yep.
Gohan. Like Gohan literally has the ultimate defense. If you have any strike base or kind of melee base attacks and he's got full gauge, you're kind of far range, just at a standstill, trying to either tap it away or bait it out and get him into a combo.
A lot of things people forget about Go Frieza too, just to like kind of go back to them real quick, is that they get stronger when they become last man standing. So, right, like they're ramping up with Goku's side, and then Frieza gets the crits, and they get stronger and remove cards and ki when they come in after the dead ally. So, you know, they could really make a comeback. Just the rest of the team needs to be, you know, helping with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, massively. Because one of the things, like, I don't like LOE. I don't like fighting it, especially as someone who had UGB and ran him on like movies. When LOE was #1 during that time, the Kaioken meta, absolute hell fighting that team. It was a badge of honor to be running movies and beat that team. Like, I'm talking pure movies, not no mono purple, pure movies. Because even mono purple was getting wrecked. And I think the big thing with LOE, which they've always had, like, if you ever notice, as much as like units tend to get broken stuff, there's always a certain reoccurring theme they have with certain units. Like, Saiyans is never a real team. It's usually just, well, Saiyans is a real team, but Saiyans is always a mashup of the 3 best current Saiyan units in the meta. That's what it always is. If you ever look at movies has always been a tanky early game, late game team. You could look at the Lock-On team. You can look at the OG, the Rebhan team. It's always been like that. Like, early game movies will, like, you know, they'll stall you out. But if it gets to late game, movies is just gonna stomp you out. And LOE's thing has always been debuffing and attribute downgrades and Dragon Ball
Jacking
destruction.
support.
Exactly, jacking support, all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. LOE has always been make you worse and make me better. And I think one of the problems with LOE is LOE as a team is lacking a lot of tools, whether they be offensive or defensive in the meta. The only, like, realistically, of all the new tools that units have, the only thing LOE has is a gauge, and it's on Go Frieza.
Yep.
LOE has no power reduction. They don't have an endurance unit that's capable. They don't have a capable revival unit. They don't even have power reduction. They don't have like any of this stuff. Like, for
The
the most
new
part,
meta kits, like they're missing a lot of that utility. That's
I actually think the yellow AGF has some arts power down. The
I think
issue
it
is
does,
that
yeah.
there's reds everywhere, and his proc is getting activated in the first blast card from Super 17. So
exactly. Like, I think if this celebration decide, because to be honest, I'm afraid if it's a Broly, because I don't got the CC to summon my dog. I got 20k CC in a drink. That's all I got. And I'm not willing to spend a paycheck on. Well, actually, no, I'll take that back. I am willing to spend a paycheck on a Broly unit. But if it is LOE, I think a big thing they could do is metal cooler that has indestructible.
yeah,
Because
that would be
like
great.
here.
Like, and I'm talking like a metal cooler that's like a metal, not only a metal cooler with indestructible, but he's more defense orientated. And when he dies, he'll give like a team buff, and it works off the whole team's like last man standing being Go Frieza. And I think that's a big thing they need to do. But one slight issue is kind of the color wheel. I don't think the third option of a third unit would hurt them too much, because you can cope Revs up because he shares the same Zenkai buffs as Go Frieza. You might be able to cope what's it called? LF Final Form. But like the cooler, he needs to be like guaranteed top 10 unit for LOE to really get that. And speaking about the equips in co-op, I will say the equip on co-op is this new thing where they do with like the pures, which teams need these pures. Every team needs these pures. And I was talking to someone in the Cord, Malik. Malik was telling me that, oh, PO is never gonna get a pure. The very next day, I said, "What happened, dog? Like, come on
With
now.
ultimate
Don't
damage
say
too.
ultimate damage too." And like, you may, for anyone looking at the equipment, be like, "Oh, why is this like slightly worse than other units that have these kind of other tags have these equips?" You have to remember, PO is a cracked tag, because not like cracked as in like, oh, every unit is busted. Every unit shares other tags. You look at every PO Saiyan, they have access to Saiyan equips. Every PO droid has access to droid equips. Every PO LOE unit has access to LOE equips. PO is just an additional tag, but the other equips they have access to are some of the best in the game. Like
Agreed.
for a while, movies used to have that title, and then for a long time, the best offensive equip was hybrids because of their pure. Like it's so like the hybrids pure is so cracked that the new hybrids pure is still worse than it. Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
insane to think about.
I didn't even farm the new one because the old one's just so much better.
It's like
8% per.
8% pure. We don't see another 8% pure per.
We ain't never
No
seen
other
that
equip
again.
comes. We're never seeing that again. Like it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ludicrous, especially if you stack it with like one of those 10% pures too, and you're like getting to like 30%, and if you're putting it on a unit that's getting Zenkai buffed enough, right? Like it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Prof, right? Like Prof runs the hybrids pure, and I think the one other pure, I think maybe I'm not sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, you see his bench, it's just Zenkai buffing
Red Beast
Beast, and
Gohan.
yeah, and like I played against him last night, and I was running just like a relatively decent. I mean, it wasn't like anything meta. It was literally like Saiyans, UGB, Super Vegeta, and USB. Like he got one priority on me. I like was holding my priorities because I knew the minute this man touches me, somebody's dead. He gets one priority off of a lost clash, and I just got one shot to hell. Like it was just. Yeah.
He did make a
It's
comment saying that his team is currently cracked out where it's like he's walking around with bazookas and all he's got to do
Yep.
is touch someone in person and that's it.
That's literally it though, yeah.
Yeah, like Prof, like I talked to Prof. That guy, chill as hell, great guy.
Yeah.
One of the things Prof does want to push for people to do is to actually stick to maining a tag.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things Prof even says is that it's actually good to spend your CC on your equips.
Yes.
Units can age out. Equips do not. It
Yep.
takes a very long time for equips to age out. Like you'll have everyone has had those moments where like, oh, my opponent's unit has lived on like a few hundred HP. That's an
Yes.
equip issue. That's an arts boost issue. Like
I've said it
taking
in the
that
past
time and
also.
effort. Yeah, like I've seen you say it too. It's like there's a reason all these big players say it. It's like
Max
we
them
have
out. Max them out,
max
guys.
them out. Like this game is a min roll game. It's a max min roll. That's it. Like you have to always put your stuff to the max. I mean movies. If I see a movie unit, I'm summoning
Going
until they're
in.
at least 9, and like after they're at least 9 stars, saving every limit break. If there's a happy bag or like some bundle that's like, okay, I can get LFZ power, I'm buying it. And
Yep.
I'm not like no whale, but like I spend my money right. And like when you main a team, and like I'm talking like a real team, like don't be doing this thing where you're like, oh, I main girls. Be for real. Be for real with yourself. Like you can't main teams like that. You can't main DB Saga because they hate DB Saga. You
Mm-hmm.
can main GT, but just be ready for some real long droughts.
Yep.
But
Once
like
every year and a half.
Gotta be like Sax.
exactly,
Save your
yeah,
CC.
I'd come into Sack stream and I tell him, hey, you a better man than me because I would have quit a lot. Well, actually, yes, yeah, I would have quit a long time ago. I remember movies after Lockon got punished so hard because we did not become a good team. Even though after that, movies had so many buffs that kept coming, like Yellow Turles, Green Metal Cooler, the Revenge of Metal Cooler, Goku and Vegeta. And even when Broly and Gogeta Blue dropped, like movies was not like a top tier team
Mm-hmm.
up until Revhan came out, and then all of a sudden movies is dominating the game again. And it's
Erase.
like, and I was like, what? I want to say almost like a year and a half, almost 2 years. But then
I
you look
wonder
at
why it took so long for them to become a team again. I wonder why.
yeah, yeah, because we gotta like they love punishing certain teams for being too good, but then like
I
GT,
wonder why.
but then you look at GT after like OG4's drought, like absolute drought. Even when G4 came up with everything, it was like it was a solid team, but like you just ran that stuff and you just ran a Saiyans team, and it's
Yeah.
like
Certain tags get treated so well, and then they just go through a drought. And sometimes, depending on the tag, if you're a good enough player, you can kind of make it work, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm still using UGB all this time later, and I'm not gonna sit here and say he's core on movies because he's not, but
will.
he's usable. But he's
I
usable.
will. I will say he's cool on movies. I'll say it right now.
In this
Yeah,
current
W.
meta.
Yeah, and for the
this-
meta, yeah, I'll agree with that.
yeah, because
But
that's a
not
drop
like
in them though.
yeah, Gohan's in every fight. You know,
Yeah,
that
he's
rush
everywhere.
is super strong. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he has mechanics that USG wish he had, right? The cut pen, the cover null, on the just like USG was so good. He definitely was like worthy of holding his spot for as long as he did. And even when
Oh,
the
yeah.
tag droids dropped and they were kind of giving him a hard time, you just ran him with Revhon, and you just had that synergy of the -5 sub count, right? The lock neutral, like some of these core mechanics, and this is what you should be looking for in new units, are just like they can't be power crept, right?
Yep.
Like lock in, you can't power creep lock. Like if you get locked and you lose priority, you better hope you don't get rushed, because like that's just it.
Yep.
Like,
Literally free
um,
combo.
I guess the only thing that could be power crept is the type neutral with the buff removals. But even then, now they're giving that uncancelable. Super Vegeta gets it uncancelable now, so I think they kind of realize like, okay, like now we got to start giving some units the uncancelable neutral. Just Vegeta's entire circumstances is
Very
unfortunate
sad.
though.
Vegeta Clan's a meme at this point. Like they don't want
I
him to
cleared the
win.
shop. I cleared the shop for Vegeta, and I got 2 copies. So
Wow.
Yeesh.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have started tweaking.
My condolences.
Yeah, that's why I'm still using him though, because like
You have
he's
to.
he's my boy. But like,
You put in the investment.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's funny though, because it's like he can actually still put in some decent work. It's just like getting him there,
Yep.
and that's
It's the build up.
and,
That's the
and,
problem.
and the rest of his team, or at least for Vegeta Clan's situation, is horrible. Like, what is
Yeah.
Sort of Hope doing besides being a wall for Super 17? And now that Gohan's around, like, okay, have fun with that. And
Yep.
then Bola, like, she's a great support, but like we're past that point of native supports. And you guys already talked about that in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
I listened to that one, and all the points were valid with that.
Like you can't keep her in the field. Like it's in and out. You got to treat them like Vados. Just in and out. You keep them in long enough and they get caught. That's a GG. But
And
back to
honestly, her best thing isn't even her support; it's the fact she has a chance to faint.
yeah on the ult. Now back to this Frieza though, because I know we're kind of drifting off
yeah.
here.
So the Frieza, I wanted to say, a big thing I've noticed about this Frieza is that a lot of people have had this theory that like, okay, these 1% Zenkais aren't going to get like 1% at LFs, like they're only going to give them stuff to like work in the meta, but they're not going to get new mechanics. And that was immediately thrown out the window when Sword of Hope got power debuff. And I was like, why the hell they give this shit? Like, where did this come from? And I'm looking at every other Zenkai after this. I'm like, they're giving these units cover null, they're giving them power reduction, and then I see they gave this Frieza cover null and card protection. I'm like, okay, that means like the devs have kind of like let go their like fear of Zenkais. They're like, we're already making like units crack. Like we need to start making Zenkais like at least usable. And this Frieza, I think the scariest thing about this Frieza is that his ult, if any, and every blue unit in this meta that is meta relevant cannot buff wipe. BG cannot buff wipe. USB cannot buff wipe. Janimba's buff wipe is once, but you're not gonna see Janimba as much.
Yep.
If as LF17 can buff wipe, but he needs to be on the field. Any blue unit gets caught with that ult, you're cooked.
100%
You are
cooked.
I had people switch into Goku's side for indestructible against that Frieza ult a few times, and I was using him at Zenkai 3, and it just was like, I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like this is why I love some older Zenkais, because people forget what they do. And this first anniversary of Frieza, I mean, I ran him a lot, him and Buhan, and dude, just like the damage at Zenkai 3 on the ultimate to a Saiyan, and that was, my health was above 50% because he gets that extra damage inflicted on the ult when his health is below 50. So
it's not even his full power. You're still destroying his bench.
Yeah, and that's not to include the final counter cell. So that's what I was saying before. Like Frieza on a PO team could actually be something, and this kind of goes into like potentially the new LF being meta cooler, because he fits all the tags that got buffed: movies, regen, LOE, and powerful opponent. And I really hope that he's not green. I actually really hope, because I want to use this Frieza. I think he could actually be relatively usable for the rest of LOE, because they need so much that they can't just drop 2 green units and say, okay, that's it. Like they need to drop another color that synergizes with this green unit and with Go Frieza.
So theoretically, right? Go Frieza, they're not even a strike-based unit. The Zenkai buffs are going to make them an offense-based unit, right?
Yep.
Let's assume this Frieza stays on core. what color would this metal cooler even need to be?
It's crazy
I,
because Eloise so down bad that the only colors they don't need is a purple and I guess blue technically because Frieza's side is blue. But
But then Gohan.
yeah, that's the thing is that you could technically run a second purple unit and then just keep the Frieza side out of Go Frieza, and then that way you have the purple blue synergy. I don't know. I mean, like I guess I don't want to
Red?
say red. I don't want to say red because like another red unit, but like in terms of the team specifically and outside of the meta, like they could benefit from a red. But I don't know.
I mean,
I think I would be happy with any color that's not green.
I
Because
think we have
like
to look at the color wheel of what PO currently has access to kind of determine what the premium LF is going to be. So if it is a cooler, like what PO that's red that they have besides hits great, right? But he's been out for a while. Oh wait, no, we have Super 17.
do you
Scratch
think
that.
Revival Cell? Do you think they want to make Revival Cell core for the PO team? You just leader him because he technically buffs PO just on the strike defense side of his Z ability, and honestly, Revival Cell, in terms of just like being a revival unit, pretty valuable. I mean, like he reduces his
Yeah.
sub count
Yeah.
a lot,
and you can always
and he has the
always
arts
just
down.
leader. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
always just leader him too.
So, like, do you think that they want that cell to be like the PO red unit? Because let's be honest, they're not here to buff LOE specifically. They're here to buff powerful opponent, which is going to be a
course.
mix of multiple different tags.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So-
I think the issue with PO, like color wheel wise, is that their red, their best red is MVP. You're gonna run MVP. Like that's the problem. Is that if you're gonna run your red, your options are
17,
either
yeah.
MVP or 17. But I will say, if theoretically the PO gets some more changes that moves it away from droids and it gets stuff that allows it to be like more defensive, has more defensive tools,
Mm-hmm.
I think the revival cell has a good argument over Super 17 for the fact of like you have an
Revival.
indestructible and a revival. That's
Right.
like that's part of what made Saiyan so good.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. Like, obviously, Super 17 is a better unit individually, but like, you need that defensive utility because like every unit just gets shredded so much that like just having an outright revival, and it's not even just having that second life; it's resetting the field. That's what makes revival super strong. That's why I love using revival Piccolo because granted he's mid is all hell, but when you pair him with Gohan, you get the extra arts down. And he has a larger subcount manipulation on Rush than what Pycon has. Like, Pycon's obviously a better individual unit, no doubt. But I like the fact that after Piccolo revives, I'm forcing my opponent's hand next. Okay, do you rush Piccolo and waste your rush and now Beast Gohan is free to engage aggressively? Or do you pop Gauge, you lose your rush, and you lose your hand, and that gives me another chance to kind of reset? So it's not a matter of oh, Piccolo's gonna stop the no, it's I'm forcing my opponent's hand. It's a matter of
That's Yu-Gi-Oh tactics.
trying to trying to control the field in my favor for the next turn, and that's what a lot of tags that aren't meta right now lack. Like Gohan, Ultra Gohan is forcing your opponent's hand because they have to either throw a blast at you and have a 50-50 of you countering with a blue card, or they throw a strike and you counter it with the Gauge. So and that's the same thing with Super 17, right? You throw a blast, and you have to pray that they don't have a green card on hand.
Because if he
Hey,
does,
gotta go ban for ban.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So
Yeah, Tesla and also, what do you guys think about this whole
Frieza.
the quips, the new Frieza, everything so far?
I mean, I was thinking what Billy said about a potential blue, like, metal cooler. If they do make him blue, they could just give him what the old LF cooler has and have him go type neutral against certain tags.
yeah, that would be
That
really
is
good.
like on entry.
Yeah,
Didn't
Yeah.
they do that with the red cooler where he goes?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
They could just do
it's-
that.
I think if he's blue and he
Like,
does
he'd have
that,
to be
I
because
think
of Gohan.
I think that's valid.
Like versus Sun Family.
Sun Family, hybrids, Saiyans.
Actually,
Hybrids and
that's actually
Saiyans cover the
that's
Well, he
board.
doesn't-
high-key-
Well, he doesn't
that's actually-
fight hybrids though in the Metal Cooler movie though. It's literally just Goku Vegeta though.
That
if
is
I'm
true.
not-
Yeah.
So
is-
it would have to be like Sun Family or Saiyans.
What about Sun
Um,
Family and Vegeta Clan?
Okay.
Just
Oh,
both
yeah,
of them.
God forbid Vegeta Clan gets.
All right,
you know,
all right.
Oh my
Come on,
god, bro,
let's-
Super
come on,
Vegeta, he's
let's-
gonna
let's relax,
destroy
let's
you.
relax, let's relax.
No, but I see what you're talking about though. Like thematically, yeah.
What about you, Desla?
So for me, I mean, I'm agreeing with you all about the fact that LOE is just like awful.
Down bad on everything.
It's
Awful.
terrible.
They need
Yeah,
God.
a little more than God.
They need to seek
Um,
religion.
something like that. No, but I haven't really had a chance to use Golden Frieza because I don't really miss the LOE like that personally. But at least not anymore. I used to years ago, but whatever. If we're really gonna have this be like a campaign where they're focusing on buffing LOE of all things, then like we need more than just Milk Cooler. And I mean like soon because
Exactly.
Two metal
guarantee-
coolers.
Like next week.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean like bro, like we got 3 months to the anniversary. I guarantee you LOE ain't gonna be there for a single slot.
Yep. And
Single one.
I agree. I agree with that because the issue is that if the LF is an LOE unit, and I love LOE as you guys know, but I would be super hesitant to summon because anniversary is right around the corner. I just spent a ton of CC on Gohan, and it's like, is this gonna last? Like, is this unit actually gonna last?
Like Red
Because-
Cooler.
I would lean towards no. Honest to
Yeah.
God,
yeah,
dude. Like,
he's
no.
not.
just yeah.
Like, Go
No.
Frieza's an exception because of
Like-
their buff that they got.
Oh,
Like,
I'm telling you,
he's gonna
dude.
need
I'm
to
telling
be-
you.
He's gonna need to be like Super 17, where you can tell off rip just from reading the kit that this unit is gonna be busted.
Yep.
He needs to
Right.
be that.
Right. And I mean, at the very least, Go Freeze is in a position to where, like, dude, I'm telling you, they get enough of a right push with what they can be ran with in terms of what makes them like what units can work with them, like as far as like cohesion. If they get that best buddy anytime soon, I'm telling you, they're jumping way the hell back up. The buff they got during anniversary almost a year ago now, which blows my mind. It's been almost a year. The fact
Wow.
that they got that massive buff, easy access to Zenkai pools, they're just unbelievable self-sufficiency. Obviously, we have surpassed the level of self-sufficiency they can provide with Goku and Bardock. Now, I think that it's not a debate that Goku and Bardock are the most self-sufficient unit this game's ever seen. Just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Goku and Frieza, I'm telling you, not even just for LOE's sake, their team comps get a best buddy that works with them like their bread and butter. You will see them almost every match all over again. I promise
Yep.
that.
I can see
I had a
that.
game. I had a game on stream 2 days ago where it came down to a 1v1 versus Zenkai Jiren and Go Frieza, like literally the cannon
The
situation.
cannon.
And this dude tried throwing a rush at me mid combo, and I just countered that at the end of the game, threw a blue card, and it did about 90% of his health.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
like wow, and Zenkai Jiren's a tanky boy, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
he had Super
No.
17 in the back to debuff me still because I didn't use up all his debuffs, so it was like
Right. No, I mean, dude, they still put in work. It's the problem being is that you can blame the incompetent dev team for wanting to buff their main tag like every premium time slot. Why?
Why
Dude,
Sun Family?
when we get when we get to the point where I'm sorry, but when we get to the point where we have to actually have a serious sit down discussion about is Evo Ken even top 10 anymore after literally a couple months after they came out, a premium high end celebration unit is not even top 10 anymore. What are we doing? What's going
like-
on?
I mean, that
Like,
yellow
that-
Frieza's
that's-
forgotten.
I think
I
they
don't-
could
I don't know.
actually. I think I don't want to like sidetrack too much here, but like I actually think it could be in a similar situation with Go Frieza, where like if one of their tags gets a proper buff to the defensive utility, because that's the only thing they're lacking is literally defensive utility. If they get like a good revival to be run alongside them, where the revival is reducing their own sub count each time they're hit, that could be really strong because Evo can debuffs arts power every time they're hit. And if you
Right.
stack that with another revival unit that could stack on top of that on a cover change,
They're
you know,
back.
that could be really, yeah, they could be really like a blast based God Key team, or like, right, like say like we get like for anniversary we get like a revival God Coup, or like right before anniversary, right?
Not another coup.
And well, I mean, we didn't get Goku last celebration, so you know, and we're about to hit a no Goku this celebration, so just saying.
Too long, man. Too long. They gotta hit their quota.
You gotta
Exactly.
go through
So-
a withdrawal.
This is it. You're experiencing it. So I don't know. I think they have potential, but like right now is just like yikes.
So I think we've got a good assessment of where this Frieza sits. Like the Zenkai is nice, but they're still not there for him to be ran with, especially on LOE. For powerful opponent, you may be able to, do some magic there, but overall, LOE still needs some additional support. Powerful opponent, they're gonna get buffs kind of trickled here and there since it's not really a traditional team. They house many tags, but we'll see how all this evolves within the next coming weeks. So let's go ahead and move the segue and talk about this Second Coming Brawley. He received a unique equipment, and unique plat equipment. So we'll go start it off with you, Glow. Have you ran into the new and improved Brawly in PvP, or do you feel like this equip is going to make him meta relevant, or is it just a waste of time?
Right now I'm trying to farm his equip literally as we speak, and it is hell. It is hell to get a red slot. From what I've seen from him,
Mm-hmm.
his damage and like getting the ult on the, I mean, an extra blue card on the green is honestly amazing. Like as an equip, it's almost like perfect. But it has one massive issue because the other good thing I was gonna say is now this Broly reduces key by 10 whenever the enemy uses an arts card, and it's permanent. It's essentially pans but permanent, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest problem with this Broly is that naturally he has zero cut pen. His only cut pen only happens when he's on a cover, and that's 50%. If he gets caught in a non-cover change combo, he's getting fried.
Folded.
Like absolutely cooked. He is getting scrambled. Like it's not even funny. And I was talking to ZVG and he pointed out, like, wait a minute, this Bodhi has no actual natural cut. And I was like, yeah, he's old. And then we started thinking, like, oh no, they really should have gave him like at least on one of them, like
Reduced damage
40,
received somewhere, you know.
something.
I think they overvalued the green card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did absolutely, but again, he's meant to just stall.
Yeah.
And doing that, he's great because now you know that his green card is an actual threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an actual threat that you're like, oh, now it's actually going to hit.
Yeah. And the
I
blue
fought
card
against
does.
him yesterday, and I was genuinely surprised at how much damage he did with the blue card.
Yeah. That blue
Yeah,
card
'cause-
is hitting like a truck.
Yeah, because the thing is like every single unique, almost every single unique Broly has gives some sort of damage buff. Like his manic ability gives 40%. He gets a 20% on entry. He gets 15% strike damage when faced with an enemy. He gets 20% extra damage against Saiyans. He does if he falls below 75, that's another 20%. He gets 20% on the blue card. He gets 50% to the next special move on the green card. With like the equip now, he's getting like massive buffs to it, more damage, and it's like he has now these stats and damage to keep up. But if I think this Broly would have had a legit, if the case was that movies got another revival or better or a different defensive unit that wasn't green, I think there would be a conversation of how you could run this Broly as a good sub option over Pycon. But the fact that he does not have that natural damage reduction really hurts him.
Yeah, because he's supposed to stall, but if he gets caught in a combo, how does he stall? Like, how do you keep him in long enough for him to do much? It's going to get one comboed, you know? And purples are coming back slowly but surely because of Ultra Green Gohan. You know, Cell is still running amok doing what he does best. And Jiren is now making an appearance. It's going to be hard to really run him in the meta. Dessa, what do you think? Do you think this unique equip is going to make people use this Brawly, or is this just business as usual?
Business as usual. I mean, I don't know. I really have no attachment towards this Broly personally because if you want to take him from where he's taken from the series, it is easily my least favorite Dragon Ball movie. So there's that. Second Coming? Yeah,
Second Coming
I'm not
was-
being different.
yeah.
Movie 8 was way better.
All right, just because movie 8 was better don't mean Second Coming ass. It's like you acting like Second Coming. You acting like Second
My
Coming
man,
is viable.
the difference
You're
between the
acting like-
movies. No, the difference between the movies is that Second Coming is boring. Like that first
That's
half is boring.
insane.
Like,
That's
bro, you're
insane.
falling asleep
You're
in the
tweaking.
first
You're
20
tweaking.
minutes.
You're tweaking. You're
Until
tweaking.
Gohan shows up, it's not even a movie.
All
Well,
right, so-
no. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dude. You remove Family Kamehameha from that movie, it has no value at all.
What? Yo,
Dang.
these is wild. Yo, Billy, please tell me you don't agree with these.
I do not agree. I think
finally.
Second Coming is a good movie. I think Family Kamehameha is actually a pretty iconic moment. If I'm gonna be completely
Yeah, but
honest.
what about-
I'm not devaluing that moment specifically.
Yeah.
But you remove that from that movie, like it
Really?
literally-
I
it's
don't
the
know,
most
man.
forgettable thing ever. I'm gonna be
Gohan,
honest with you.
Gohan
versus
fighting
Broly was
Broly,
crazy.
yeah.
Gohan was getting
Yeah,
folded
now that did
by
nothing,
Broly.
bro.
Before he goes into Legendary, bro, and he's just like Super Saiyan, he's saucy with it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
Goten,
imagine the amount of time you have to waste getting to that fight.
I mean, that's like
You're
every
just-
Z movie, though.
That's what
literally
that's what everyone wants to forget, bro.
If-
You
if
have
I'm
like
gonna-
Videl and Goten and Trunks shenanigans for like more than half an hour that like completely just it grinds. It's like actual snail pacing.
I'm gonna be honest
Wait,
with you.
first of all,
Most of the
every
old
Z
Z
movie.
movies are like that, though. Like, go rewatch some of the old Z movies,
on.
and they're all kind of slow paced at the beginning.
Look at
Metal
Android-
Cooler.
look at how-
Metal Cooler was
Metal
a banger from start to finish. I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Sucker.
But
Yeah,
think about
that-
how long it took to get to the final point where, like, all right, we're on new Namek, and we're finally getting to the Metal Cooler part. Like, it took a minute in the series. Look at Android 13. It took a while. We literally
Even the
had
first Broly movie.
Even the first Broly movie, it was literally just they literally started off at a barbecue. Next thing you know, we're doing like blah blah blah. Oh, this is Broly. So when does he pop off? And then when he finally pops off, it's down to like the second half.
Yeah, but the difference between them is that in the first Broly movie, they're actually building intrigue towards Broly. They're building
that's
intrigue towards who the legendary Super Saiyan is. Where in Second Coming, you just have Goten, Videl, and Trunks shenanigans where they're trying to deal with some cult.
And like,
Like, bro,
And
I'm not
bro,
here for some
dude,
cult.
yeah, I know. Broly is so brain damaged at this point to where he's out here like murder shattering Kakarot every 2 seconds when he sees Goten's face, bro. You can't even tell the difference because of how like far gone he is. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, but if we want to talk about which Z Broly I with, it's movie 8 all day every day because at least he like actually was there.
Okay,
And,
let
like,
me ask you this.
I'm sorry.
Let me see you take a shot to the chest, go comatose in the Arctic, and like complete a full sentence.
Yeah,
Let
you
me
should have
see you do that.
died. He should
Let
have
me see you do
died.
that.
You should have died.
What, dude?
I-
Where'd the pod come from?
The
It
pod,
blew up.
bro. They had pod, bro. Where did the pod come? How did, bro? You're getting mad at Broly having a pod. You said nothing when this Goku miraculously found a fucking pod on Namek. Let's be for real. He should have died on Namek. If you're arguing this, Broly should have died that fight. Goku should have died on Namek.
You literally
supposed to
saw
die on
Broly
Namek, though?
blow up.
Yeah.
And then
He was,
the
yeah.
writers wrote Goku back in.
Yep.
It was an
Yeah.
editorial thing.
Yeah, they're like, hold on, it's too early to kill him off.
Yeah,
And
so
then Toriyama-
he technically was
so
gone,
fucked
and Gohan was supposed to take over, but they said,
Yeah.
nah, we're not having that.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I mean,
Yeah, but
again,
the difference between
you
the two
know.
situations is that with Goku, like that was just straight up a necessity because Toriyama intended him to die. Where
Yeah.
with Broly, they just had to bullshit all the way to get him to Earth.
because they want to keep making more movies with Broly in them.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
admittedly,
it's
they're
Broly.
both
Saw how
pretty,
that went. Android
movies, but
Broly?
whatever. What,
I mean,
Bio
Bio
Broly?
Bio Broly?
No, no, no,
you
no,
saw
no,
that
no,
one?
If
Don't
Glow
talk about
defends
that.
that shit, I'm
No,
leaving,
no,
bro.
no, no,
I'm out.
no, no,
I'm
no,
out.
no, no,
I'm
no.
fucking leaving.
I'm not the listen. The only thing I like from Bio Broly is the triple Kamehameha. That is it.
Yes, I
that
feel
is
like Kamehameha for me, man. Got it.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah, like outside of that, I don't care about Bio. Like my problem with Bio Broly is if at least he had a good design, you could save that series. You could
Nah.
save
Like,
that movie.
bro,
if he
you
had
don't
a
think that
good
poop?
design,
You don't like the swamp monster, man?
Swamp Thing,
Bro.
straight up.
Oh my
bro,
god.
I
Looks like a
don't
Courage the
like-
Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Dead ass,
Like a
dead ass,
villain,
He looks
like,
like
what?
a courage villain. Like, bro,
Crazy, man.
absolute
Crazy.
sewage. I'm like,
Nah.
bro. Like I saw someone did their own retake on it, and it essentially they designed it like imagine Z Broly, but what's that guy's name from one of the Resident Evil games? I
Oh,
forget
Nemesis.
what's
Nemesis.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that'd
someone-
be crazy.
someone did like an edit with like their own take on Bio Broly with Broly and Nemesis. I was like, see, if he looked like that, cold as hell, people could ignore like some of the bad stuff on Bio Broly. But it's like the design is so bad. The Bio Warriors are goofy as hell. It's like
Yeah.
like the reason I don't like Bio Broly is that OG Broly was its own story. Broly Second Coming is a nice continuation from it, but Bio Broly is an unnecessary continuation of a continuation.
We call that a runoff.
It's like, yeah, it's like a runoff. And I'm like,
So
I'm
just
like,
just going off of that to like kind of get back to the Legends talk, and I don't want
Yeah.
to like stop the movie
Yeah,
talk. 'Cause
yeah.
I could do this all day. Do you think that an LF Broly could actually be the powerful opponent? Like we were talking about Cooler, but
Oh, he
I think
absolutely
I think
I mean-
Broly is deserving of an LF, at least
Oh,
through
yeah.
the 8.
Dude,
Yeah.
no, I mean, to be fair, man, like, it's bizarre that we haven't gotten an LFZ Broly at this point. Like, I don't understand what they're thinking.
So
I
I
think
just
the
said
one-
I just
think
said
I
movie
was a
8
little
Broly.
scared. Yeah, I was a little scared because we saw the free to play Broly. I was like, because like when I saw the Golden Frieza leak, I was like, okay, it's gonna be ROF. And then I saw Broly and I started yelling I gotta summon. And I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, maybe it's just PO and that's the only Broly. Then I see the Broly plat. And I see Broly on the equip. I'm like, oh my god, it's really about to be a ZLF Broly.
Could be.
Or there's a chance it could be a revival DBS Broly. With like his revival being the scene where he like pops up after
You know, it's funny because was it 2 months ago? I mean, I'd be tweeting about units all the time, but like 2 months ago, I literally said, or along that time, a DBS revival Broly with a scene where he comes out of the water would be so cool. Like, but I don't know. The other just counteract our own argument about Broly is that
I think
Z and Super Broly just got his representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the big problem with Broly is the same reason we talk about like how certain tags get punished. I think Broly as a character is one of the most punished characters in Legends because OG Blue Broly on release was number one.
Oh, yeah.
He introduced Feint, and Feint was such a cracked mechanic.
30%, right?
30% on blue, 30% on ult, which was insane. Because that was back when like rushing, the only way to kill a unit on rush had to be type advantage. You couldn't kill rushes type neutral or type disadvantage back then. So like people, because I remember at that point the number one team was Green Piccolo, Scouter Vegeta, and Blue Broly. And the game plan was to feint Green Piccolo. That way you could swap into Scouter Vegeta and then rush to be able to kill. So like we had that Broly. Everyone knows the infamous DBS Purple Broly and the havoc he caused. And if you notice, right after that, no more top tier Brolys. We had a drought of like top tier Brolys. We got DBS LF Broly, who was good when he came out, but he had a massive flaw, which everybody saw. He has no key. Like he runs out of key so easily. And then you look at every other Broly after that, they have held back to a certain degree so much for it that it's like, why?
I think Ultra Broly, I think they actually intended for Ultra Super Z Broly to be really good, and because gauges were like just starting off, especially that type of defensive gauge, I think they undertuned it. And then I could put money on that Ultra Gogeta Blue was not intended to be as good as he was, and they saw Broly's performance with the gauge, and they said, "Yeah, no, we got to buff this up a bit because you know." So I could see them, just doing what they do best, and they undertune a kit. Unit's not good. The premium unit that's supposed to release 1 to 2 months later gets the juiced version of said gauge or kit or whatever, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, this guy's done.
Hey, that sounds like a Super Vegeta and an Ultra Gohan moment.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that, like, if it's an LFZ Broly and if it's LF Metal Cooler, the devs, it comes down to whether the devs are going to stick to one of their philosophies, because they have two philosophies when it comes to designing units. Either make a new kit or take inspiration from other kits. If you notice, UVB's kit is just a modernized version of LFVB. Gogeta's USG has aspects of the previous Gogetas before him. He has the DBS Blue Gogeta's thing of blue card spam. He has the ult of the old school Red Gogeta having a strong ult. He has aspects that you've seen other units have. So if it's LF Metal Cooler, my idea is that they're probably going to have him give some stuff of like, as he keeps fighting, he keeps getting some buffs, reduced damage counts and stuff. But he'll also heal from being hit, because like that's what all the Metal Coolers have done. If it's Z Broly, however, there may be a chance that they just give him a new kit that doesn't take inspiration from anything, simply because like what are they going to use for a reference? The Ultra Broly kit was
he could be indestructible.
Lackluster.
A new indestructible.
See, if I say that, everyone's going to start. I know ZV Core is about to start crying that I'm asking for movies buffs and I'm being ungrateful.
What if they just give LF Metal Cooler just multiple revives?
Yo, relax. Stop
That's great. No. They gave him a revival, and then after the revival, he has endurance.
Well, what if they put like conditions?
And then indestructible.
You have to get through the endurance to get through the indestructible.
What about
Oh my God.
adding conditions to the indestructible? Like you have to be running 2 other powerful opponent, or
I would like that. I would like
yeah,
that.
that'd be whack.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. I'd
so
like
I
you
don't
can't
know.
just
I
throw
mean-
him in the leader slot and be good.
Yes.
Every
I mean, I
escalator,
guess, but like, you'd want to. I mean, dude, the guy has a shit ton of tags, so I wouldn't want to just lock in only one of them. That's my thing.
Yeah, well,
Powerful
they would
opponent.
definitely restrict it to like powerful
I mean-
opponent and movies, and you know they're gonna do movies because it's a premium tag. Like
Mhm.
I'm not saying that because I want movies to get buffed with the cooler, because I actually really like my movie setup that I have, but I'm just like thinking of it from a team building standpoint in general. Movies gets buffs all the time, and if they want to see people summoning for a new unit, they're just gonna make it so that his indestructible is tied to movies and powerful opponent, and that would just be
Right.
Yep.
like that would be it.
I can see that. So essentially, we've got our understanding that this platinum equip, it's nice, but it's not gonna make him meta relevant anytime soon. So it's maybe the free to play players or individuals who may not have the current meta units. If you would like to use him and try your best, fine, great.
He's
but
fun.
He's fun. He's cool. You can get the green blue combo. That's great. But once you start getting into the higher ranks, like rank 60 plus higher, as you're going for God rank, you're gonna see the top teams such as the Super 17s and the Ultra Gohans in like every match.
I ran into that setup. I have screenshots. I ran into the Super 17 Gohan setup. I think it was 8 games in a row.
Yep, that's the team.
Dog,
That is
I'm
the team.
so tired.
Oh,
of
we're about to start.
Yeah.
We're about to start talking about that, right?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I'm
let's
not
do
summoning
that.
for that
I'm
rap.
ready.
So this
I'm
is the
ready. Come
segment.
on, let's lock in. Lock in.
Okay.
Yo,
I'm not
get ready
summoning
for-
for that rat.
Yo, Aton, get ready for a lot of editing out these curse words. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's move on to our next segment, which is this Ultra Gohan the new FSK? We'll start off with you, Glow, since you're about to pop off. Cue up the Nas Ether track.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's this Gohan. Actually, this Gohan. I was happy Hybrid got a buff until I fought this man. Never before since I want to say since Droids have I ever been this pissed off fighting a unit. I hate fighting against the blast breaks. The way the blast breaks it's not even annoying enough where it happens late game. It can happen at the beginning of the game and it just sets you up on a bad foot. One in this game now, because of how with 17 on droids, one bad single priority with this Gohan on droids, now you're stuck in a combo of infinite cover no. 17 got the cover no. Cell got the cover no. Gohan got the cover no. I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do now? Come on now. We're getting to the point where we need to start having more universal cover changes. This is getting a little ridiculous. I gotta guess when this 17 player is gonna strike, or when they're gonna drop combo on one of their blast attacks because they know I have a blast cover change. With this Gohan, I'm stuck with all that. He has card protection for the first 5 counts when he enters and uses the card. I'm like, come on, dog. It's getting to the point where it's getting a little bit ridiculous. It's the counter blue card, annoying as hell.
Yep.
The two alts or whatever, sure. The gauge being so annoying. The fact that the gauge is immune to beast drop combo is ridiculously annoying. I ran a set with somebody because I was like, you know what, let me try this red green team against this Gohan droids team. I want you to guess what the record was at the end of it.
2-3.
You get washed.
7-0.
Oh
Wow.
With me being the O.
Wow.
With me being the O. And it was me and my boy, and we are both good players. It was 7-0. There were a few games that were close, but it was 7-0 each time.
Yep.
And it was to the point where I could not, if I started a combo on him, if I don't kill somebody, what he is doing back, I don't really have the tools to stop it. There's not a lot of the only unit that has a chance of stopping this Super 17 realistically is USB. But you put that Gohan on droids, and now that becomes a problem.
Leader
and you're
slot.
like, okay, well, yeah. And then you're like, oh, what about my purples? Your only purple options are Jiren. Jiren is a good unit. He is top 10 worthy. The problem is Jiren's teams aren't ran as much. PO is a very good team to deal with this Gohan. It's a very good team to deal with this Gohan. You don't see that many PO players. You don't see that many Universe Reps running PO. Even though I think more Universe Reps players should be Universe Reps should be a better team than what people are giving it credit for. Cell, good unit against it. UGB. I mean, if I can force out the gauge, sure. I have my blast, my anti-blast gauge, but it's like,
All about that resetting the field.
Yep.
yeah, recent. It's just the fact that he destroys your hand and he just resets back to neutral is so annoying because not only are you reset back to neutral, you are at a disadvantage because you have to wait for your cards to come back. Say there's a situation you have minus card draw speed and that happens. What do?
You
You have to wait for the
Right.
debuff to go.
yeah.
It's getting to the point where it is such an annoying unit to fight because the teams he's ran, like him on hybrids, whatever. It's hybrids. I can deal with that the same way I deal with other teams. But that Gohan droids it's I think it's genuinely a modern red purple. It is the modern day red purple of MUI, tag droids, and Whis. That is literally what it is. Except now we're dealing with a situation where the third unit isn't some supplier of green cards. The third unit is a capable fighter in their own right being so. And it's like, I think if you lose with that team, like either one, RNG did you really badly, or you're trash.
You'll have
And,
two
and
options.
yeah, and the second one, they could still have a high chance of winning even with with being backed.
Yep. Because all they need to do is catch you once, and that's it. So, and we came out with our tier list on the last episode where we kind of went through, the top 5, which, I mean, you can rearrange in any chronological order, but I believe with the last two, there's no denying that Gohan, based on kit for kit, seems that he's number one, and the meta is now revolving around this Gohan alongside with Super 17, where he's being ran everywhere. I'll pass it over to you, Billy. Do you believe that this green Ultra Gohan is the new FSK?
So, I think this Gohan, on an individual kit basis, I think is definitely top one. But I think Super 17 just has like the better team with the Zenkai bench and the synergy with the rest of his tag, right? Like kind of like what Glow was saying is that, Super 17 just being able to just spam blast cards and not think is just ridiculous. And I know he's hating on Gohan, and I think Gohan's annoying. Like I use him, I have him 14 stars. He's definitely annoying. Mirror matches against hybrids is hell because it's like I have to be super careful on how I engage, and it's ridiculous. But the same goes for 17. And anyways, Gohan's biggest, I think, like toxic trait, I would say for me at least, is the supplying of the blast armor break cards, and then you pair that with 17, who just drooling on your phone, pressing blast, like I each unit on their like actual respective tagged teams is annoying, but it's when you put the two together that like I want to reach through my phone and just strangle whoever's using that team because it's like, bro, like I know you are not good at the game. The core fundamentals that make a player good are just like not like triggering in your brain, and you are just like pressing blast, and it's just like, yeah, how do you have fun? That's just my thing. It's like, how do you have fun using that? Like I have both the units. I could easily run that team, but I don't, not because it's like a moral thing, because it's like it's just so easy. I just don't enjoy playing the game. Like it's just like, okay, like cool.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's no longer
like
challenging at that point.
yeah, like I enjoy a good challenge, but I also, want to win, right? So I understand like running like quote unquote the best unit, but like I don't know. Like I think Gohan is definitely again top one, but I don't think he's at the level of what FSK was back in the day. Because it's like
Oh
at
yeah,
least
for
from
sure,
like
for
a
sure.
meta per meta look, right? Like Gohan when he Zenkai'd during the second year anniversary was just so leagues far and above everybody's stats, damage, like everything. Like he was just
He was a one man
ballistic.
army, a
One
one man
man.
army.
Two carding, like at type disadvantage, he was going
Like
crazy.
he had support. He had everything short of endurance.
I'm not gonna cap. I was that guy. I ran mono red,
Oh
and
god.
Yo, I can't blame you. I was on that. I was on that team too.
I mean, like I'm a Gohan fanboy, so like I saw my boy and I was like,
Gotta
yeah.
juice him up.
But even then, there was times where I switched to God Key because I love God Key, and I was running like double blue. I was running blue purple God Key with VB, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then I think I had Nameku. I was running Nameku, and I ran like a blue purple set. And VB was at least able to take care of Gohan in most situations. But as soon as Gohan went neutral, it was game over. Like somebody was dead.
Yep.
This Ultra Gohan being restricted to type neutral on 2 dead allies is like a blessing and a curse. Because if there was just 1 dead ally and this man popped ult,
That's it. It's a rising rush. He has 2 R's.
Yeah, so I think they did a good job in designing this Gohan like overall because we're only gonna get stronger units.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like how he synergizes with 17 and it kind of just like ruins like the originality of the game because it's like, oh boy, I love, my favorite part of Dragon Ball was when Gohan teamed up with Super 17 to take on Cell. Like,
I
what?
love that part, bro.
Yeah, like
I loved it.
Man. That's just me though. I like running, and that's just like a personal thing, obviously.
Yeah, it makes sense. So essentially, from your assessment, he's great, but the gap in power creep is not as severe when FSK was in the meta.
Yeah.
Which is where the differentiator is, because we know per kit, the Green Ultra Gohan is still number 1 in the game, but the tools that other teams have to their disposal allows to somewhat survive and somewhat kill or catch the Gohan. Okay.
Gogeta being a perfect example on movies. Or even I made a Saiyan setup in Glow. I don't know if you want me to send it to you later because I know you like UGB.
All right, say less.
It kind of revolves around you having Universal Spirit Bomb Goku though, so I don't know if you have him.
All right, you lost me. All
right, damn. All right.
Well, anyways,
it's Gogeta, Universal Spirit Bomb Goku, and then Vegeta. And Vegeta's kind of just there to be like an offensive unit. But I was getting my gauge filled up 3 times in games against those Android teams, and Gogeta was surviving. And it's kind of just like, you really gotta, like, you can rotate Universal Spirit Bomb Goku with the double red setup, and then you just swap Gogeta into Gohan, and it's like, it doesn't matter if his cards don't break because he just has so many blast cards, he's gonna pull a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you catch that Gohan in a combo with Gogeta, you just hit that rush button and somebody's dead. Doesn't matter who it is.
Doesn't matter. Deza, do you feel like this new Ultra Gohan is the new FSK, or do you agree that the gap is not as severe? What do you think?
Oh, not even close. We're never going to have a situation like that happen again, ever. If they want to maintain any credibility as a competent development team, they will never let that mistake happen again. I'll say that with full confidence, because if it happens again, wow.
It's gonna be crazy.
Oh my god. But no, on some level, I understand why it's so common to bump into the Super 17 and Gohan, like, tag team combo, whatever. It's the fact that, again, people are experiencing like relief from Proud Bell finally off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. They just work so unbelievably well together that it's like, if you have the units, why would you not use them, right? It's too much of a coincidence to really like rule out as, did they really not think that they wouldn't be ran together? Like, I mean, let's be honest.
I don't think they test these units. I think they create kits
hell
and
no.
just throw it in the wild.
Hell no.
Hybrids aren't even blasts too. That's the best part. Hybrids hybrids in Sun Family are super strike heavy for the most part, right? That being Beast.
No, Sun Fam is more blast based.
Well, now it is because of Gohan, but pre-Gohan, it was
pre-Gohan. Pre-Gohan, it was basically strike. It was more. I'd say it's mixed.
I think it was Beast, Bardock, and Goku, and then I think it was UI Sign.
So that's strike. That's 2 strike units.
Correct me. No, like, I understand. Like, yeah, there's strike units, but correct me if I'm wrong. BG holds a strike and a blast.
I can check. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I know for a fact Beast holds a strike and a blast.
Yep.
Yeah, so it looks like they were both.
The deck is predominantly blast.
Yeah, on a deck basis, but I'm referring to like what their
kits
damage output is gonna.
By damage output, yeah, the team is strike based, but it was also a situation that the blast damage is nothing to sleep on. That's why I would say it was more so like Sun Fan before then. I'd say is more mixed, because even though it's not like fusions where on fusion the strike and blast damage difference is just massive.
Yeah.
But like on Sun Fam, it was like, the blast damage is respectable.
Yeah, that's true.
And this
Yeah,
Gohan
Goku and Bardock
stats.
actually do hold a strike and a blast, so yeah, I just checked that. Right now, I would actually say this goes back to a little bit ago when I think Lo was like touching base on it. Right now, a perfect way to actually really wall off these Gohan and Super 17 comps, like, it actually is uni reps. I'm gonna be honest with you. What I do, I think that we'll really get to the point where, if I'm gonna be honest with you, dude, like UI Sign's getting like a little dangerously close to getting to that 10th spot in the top 10 list. I'm gonna be
He's
110% real with
fallen
you.
down.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like at Super
Just the red
17 puts
units.
him, it just puts him on watch. Like it's really
Yeah.
bad. It's really
He
bad for him right now.
wants to be in a strike heavy meta, and right now it's super blast heavy. So
And he
I think
also
Yep.
like
I
his
think you'll see
value
him rise
shoots.
and fall.
Yeah, his value shoots way the hell up if there's actually like more than, I don't know, 2 good purples in the game right now. So
Mhm.
Hmm.
like that's
True.
that's the biggest problem. But I don't know. Like it's just a thing of where currently like just not really needed. Like I don't know. Like there's not ever a time where I'm going, oh golly gee, I wish I had UI Sign Goku to deal with. Again, the 2 purples in this game that I ever see. No, that's never happening. What I'm thinking about is what good blue and purple units can I have to wall off this Gohan and Super 17. Again, shockingly enough, Jiren paired with MVP debuffing, unbelievable. Still,
Yeah.
it's insane how well he can still wall people off with that support, man. Holy shit.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Same
Fantastic.
thing with the Gogetas and the Universal Spirit Bomb, right? Universal Spirit Bomb, just like he might be the only blue unit that can tank Gohan right now because of his defensive neutral on entry.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
I don't see enough people talk about him, and I don't see enough people use him. And I think his value is incredible right now, which is why I made that Saiyan team with him, because he just like he's a wall. He's an
Yeah.
absolute wall.
I mean, the 2 reasons though you don't ever see like much talk about it is because of the fact that, I mean, yes, they did finally buff GT, but again, repeating it, they finally buff GT. It's a thing of where you're feeling unsafe about if it's even a good idea to even invest in his banner when, on top of the fact that GT, it's like literally waiting a millennia for the next batch of buffs to come for that
Yeah.
tag. You also have the issue of where the banner just sucked. It was awful. It like literally objectively speaking, it was a
I
terrible
saw
banner.
GT Pan, bro. I saw Giru, and I was like, nah, I'm summoning.
Don't
Oh, I mean,
disrespect
dude,
Giru.
cool as hell, 1%. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't, but like, as far as fillers go, oof,
Oh yeah, no, it's horrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but no, I do think that he deserves more recognition for sure because he's fantastic right now. I'm telling you, like, really, beside again, MVP would be in such a better spot if they just gave him a Zenkai buffer. Again, I understand that there's still exhaustion from like the constant Unirep spam from last year, but like
We're over it now.
if you're gonna spam it that much, then could you at least give like arguably the most important unit on that tag a Zenkai buffer? I don't understand what is so hard about that
And
because
there's a
again,
perfect one on the same tag with
like
Turner
the
Power 18.
yeah,
Blue
the
18,
Blue
yeah.
18, yeah. Like, dude, I don't understand it. I don't.
Even Blue
like,
Topo. Blue Topo could be another good one.
Yeah.
Also
He
that.
buffs
He's
Blue
probably
Blue
gonna
and
be
Rival
rival
Universe.
He's probably gonna be
Blue,
rival universe though.
Blue Topo.
I think they're done with the Rival Universe tag. I'm gonna be honest.
I think
I hope so.
Rival Universe is done for. I think Blue Topo, as much as I think it would be good, I think 18 would be better. The problem with Blue Topo is he only buffs Rival Universe in blue. So say Universe Reps becomes a situation where the other 2 units aren't blue or universe or Rival Universe, it's gonna be kind of a weird time to put him. And he's like double defense too. Which is
18's
like,
also
So then
18's also double
18's gotta
defense
be
though.
18 is also double defense, but at least like on Z ability, she's buffing
Universal Vital
right.
Saga.
universe rep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
think
she's not like forcing a weird
I
team.
I actually think the next uni rep buff that we do get isn't gonna be a Universe 7. I really think it's gonna be a Universe 6 character. I really think we're like way past due Kefla.
Yeah.
When was the last time we got Kefla? Third
I'll be
anniversary?
honest with you.
Or
Yeah.
good
I'll be honest with
Kaba.
you. I'll be honest with you. It's either the next universe ref buff is either Kefla or God Topo. One of the 2.
Or you got a wild card. See, it could be a different universe, but they're gonna find a way to squeeze
say
in their
Rubian.
Goku bias.
Don't say Rubian.
So
Don't say
no,
Rubian.
I'm not.
Don't say
I'm
Rubian.
not. I said I'm gonna squeeze my Goku bias, man. So or their Goku bias. So I hit and Goku tag unit.
True.
It could.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
But I think Universe 6 needs something, bro. Like
Oh, they
That is Universe 6, man.
I know, yeah, right. No, that's I'm agreeing with you. Like I think that would be cool because hit. Even Ultra. I just want to take a second. Ultra hit. Like, do you guys think he could actually be relevant if the melee uni reps team actually got enough buffs? Like that time
Yes.
skip is still stupid.
His
I mean,
crits
he's
are
still
good,
he's
too.
still usable for sure, but again, the problem is that again they've made such a
team.
He's
blatant
very
bias
unsafe.
towards
Right.
Blast. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is if they made it so that the rival universe side of uni reps became strike, do you think you
Yeah,
could see
no,
like
I mean, dude,
100%.
again, it's the same thing with like Goku and Frieza do, where they've had
Yeah.
blatant bias towards one particular method of attacking, and that's shown with how they want the
yeah.
optimal comps to be built. And again, if they shifted the focus to more melee based, then again, I'm telling you, you'd be seeing hit
Yeah.
still.
Everywhere.
Yeah, like
Honestly.
like a hit Kefla and like
Kaba or something.
I don't know Kaba, dude. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
would love to use that, bro. I love like
I
U6
think
has kind of grown on me within the past recent months. I'm not gonna lie.
I think one unit could easily fix hit, and it's really just a strike based green. Because
Yeah.
as much as I like Rev UI, I do like him. I think he has been one of the most overhated units for no good reason.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Well, he had there was a good reason to hate him initially, because UGB was running around. It was a valid reason to hate
It
him.
was mostly me being salty because I was excited for the unit.
When I looked at his kit, I was like, yeah, like I don't like that there's certain parts that don't carry over to like post survival. But then I'm like, I fight post survival, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting one shot by this blue a little too much right now. Like these blue cards, these are hitting way too. Like I don't know what it is, but there is something so satisfying about seeing a Rev UI blue card just hit, because you just see the HP just go down.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just crashes on your opponent, because I don't know, they gave this thing 30% special move, 50% cut pen. That is insane
A
on like
lot
a
of
special
teams
move.
a lot of teams don't have good blast defense too. So teams are natively just going to be more weak to blast based moves, which is also why blast based teams are crazy right now, right? Because a lot of teams
Exactly.
are just strike defense heavy.
And if he pops the
Yeah.
main and he hits that blue, oh hell no.
With
Lord have
17
mercy.
giving them extra cut pen, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And support.
And support.
Like Lord
Yeah.
have mercy if you get caught when you get caught. It's like, but the thing is, his Z ability is blast based predominantly, which really sucks. But well, no, I forgot. He's double
Stipple
offense.
offense.
He's double offense and 18% blast defense. And it's like, yeah, you can build him strike based because the strike offense is not like too far off, but like there is a very big difference between a strike based Rev UI and a blast based Rev UI.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think if Universe Reps got I don't even want to say a new green revival, because like Rev UI is still usable. I think what they need is a green endurance strike based unit. Like you give them that, and then you can genuinely run hit go Frieza in that green unit, and
They
it's able to
tried
be
it.
valid.
They tried it with what's her face? That gives double defense. She's green card spams.
Oh, Kaiway?
Yeah, because she's a strike-based green unit for rival universe specifically. So, but she just she kind of just is there to spam greens, and
Makes sense.
that's really
Be
it.
annoying.
But back to Ultra Gohan, because I know we drifted into the universe survival saga there. So Desla, from your initial impression, his kit is number one, but it's still not as bad as the FSK meta. Right?
Absolutely not. Nothing will ever be as bad as that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you, Opsto? Do you agree with Desla, Glow, and Billy? Where
Yeah, I agree, because for one thing, during FSK, they didn't make a single unit that was better than FSK or even close to being as good for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That entire year was ruined because of FSK and the other absurdly good Zenkais like 18 and Red Gogeta. That year, I'd say it's the worst year this game has ever seen, because why would you summon? Just use your CC on Zenkais.
Yep.
They're going to be better.
That's when
Like
Zenkais were
I
supreme.
straight up even remember back in the 420 server, I was saying, hey, we should just skip the anniversary.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Like straight up.
I mean, especially that anniversary, dude. Like, who
Yeah,
cares?
they weren't going to
Whatever.
be better, and they weren't better. Nobody was better.
Nope.
Why would you run Gogeta 4 when, for one thing, he didn't even have his Eclipse, so he was terrible. When a Gohan is just going to one shot you.
And, like,
CMZ
bro,
for days,
and
baby.
like it took essentially the only like the final like for them to finally combat the Zenkai meta at that point, they had to drop the Revhan Zenkai, the Revhan banner, which they essentially dropped Bojack, who had like some of the best defenses and a vanish removing mechanic. They had Gokua, who was like the first EX to break top 10 in a very long time.
Wow, it
You
took
had
them 9 months to come out with that banner.
yeah, and then you had Revhan, who like as a unit was rivaling FSK for the #1 spot. Like it was, they had to essentially drop the like top tier units to like even compete, not even overthrow the Zen guys to compete.
Wow.
Like it was honestly ridiculous then. But like look at what this like even and like just using that as a point of a reference of what needed to drop to combat FSK. There's Ultra Gohan. There's good units. There's units in and out of top 10 that could handle him if their teams were up to par. And that's really it. Like a unit I think that like if their team was up to par, Ginyu. Ginyu could like blitz like damage wise, he's bursting through a Gohan. But Ginyu's teams are not up to par.
If they gave Ginyu cover null, he'd be like top 5.
Top 5 easy because he can
Ultra
just combo
Frieza that
forever.
gives cover and all to Frieza Force allies. There you go.
I ain't
Straight up.
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. If Ginyu had cover null,
That'd
I
be a
think
problem.
he would. I think he'd be. More than a problem. I think he'd be stuck in top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you thought Orange Piccolo or Pycon was a problem of like, oh, you just slap on teams, people would slap Ginyu everywhere.
Mm-hmm. You just combo for days because nothing could
Just
stop
combo
him.
for days. And even that little nerf they do where it's like, oh, you have to have certain units on your team to like get the revival. It is so easy to work around that and just ramp it up to full 100.
Good assessment from the group that this Ultra Gohan, he's great. He's #1, but the meta is not as toxic as it was when FSK was running around for a year and a half. So now let's move on to our special guest segment where we grill Billy and do some fire questions back and forth. So you viewers or listeners are able to get to know him a little bit better. I'll go ahead and start off first. Billy, you've been playing this game for a good long while now. You've made top ranks multiple times, and you've even won, #1 champion for 73 and 74. Tell me about both of those grinds. How much time and effort did it take for you to get to that #1 spot?
So the first season I hit it, I was chasing it the season before that, and it was during a move. Actually, I was literally driving cross country to where I am now, and my girlfriend at the time had to listen to me moan about every fight I had in the car on the way there. But anyways, I ended up in second place that season. Actually, it came really close, but what messed me up even with the move was me not going in frame 1. And so what I did was as soon as reset happened for the following season, I played essentially nonstop the whole day. I got like a 10,000 RP point lead or something, like some like ludicrous lead, especially at the time where you were gaining 1 RP a fight and losing 100 when you lost. It's not like the way it is now, and that's something that a lot of players don't understand, and some of us do, is that right now, while it's still important to like dedicate a lot of time to the PvP grind, beforehand it was each loss or each fight was way more impactful, because if you lost a fight, that's a whole 1 to 2 hours of your time gone. Now it's you get that lost fight back in the next fight, and it's just like, okay. Like there's no pressure. There's no pressure, and I think that's what really distinguishes like a competitive environment, is having pressure per win. Yes, your win rate is important, but the wins need to be impactful, and that's why when like ZVG did it too, right? Like he was going crazy. I remember that last day, dude. I told him too, because it's the same thing that happened with me. That you got to go in frame 1. You play the whole day, like first 24 to 48 hours. You can like take like an hour break or whatever. Yeah, like literally, I'm not even joking. And then after that, for the next like 1 to 2 weeks of the season, it's on cruise control, and you're kind of just playing for like an hour at a specific time when the queue will benefit you, because you had to queue up when you were gonna maybe match against somebody that gave you more than 1 RP. And the Japanese players at the time, because the queue was locked, the Japanese players had more competitive players. And they would match up,
And the star advantage.
Yeah, and the star advantage. but they would match with each other, whether it was an intentional or not, right? And the RP they got per fight was just more. So it didn't even matter a lot of times for North American players at the time that I got it. It was that they're just going to get more points than you faster. And it's not going to matter. So that's why it was so important to get such an insane lead at the very beginning, because the Japanese players didn't play until the last 2 days of the season.
Wow.
Because they could. And so I remember just like for an hour from 8 to 9, I think I would play. And that's when I actually like would run into people that like were in North America that like we all know that play the game regularly, right? So I knew they were in the rankings for me to get like 7 RP. Like that was a big deal. 7 RP was like, whoa.
Big time.
Oh yeah, dude. That was juice. I would, get my fights in for an hour, and I would have to put the game down, and I would just go. That was it. I played an hour a day for like 2 weeks after the first day to 2 days, and then the final 2 days is when I had to like pick it up a little bit and play for 2 hours, because that's when the Japanese players like I had to play to just like maintain my lead, essentially, not to like surpass go even
anybody,
further,
but just
but
stay on the top.
just to like maintain that like advantage. And I would like refresh the rankings to see, all right, how much RP did they get? Okay, did they win? Did they lose? Do I need to queue up? Yeah, I mean, that was like the last day I actually didn't even play at all.
Wow.
The last day of the season I didn't play at all because I still had a 2,000 RP point lead.
And there was no way they were going to get to that, especially
there was no way they were catching up
1-2.
because I took such an insane lead at the start that it pressured the guy to play. And I know this for a fact, the guy that was chasing me was going for his 4th title in a row. He won the 3 back-to-back titles before that. And he pulled like 2 all-nighters playing the game to catch up. And it eventually just broke him. And, his performance probably just broke down, and then he just was losing fights, and that was it, right? You can't catch up at a certain point. So that was the strategy. And all the homies that were chasing rank 1 after that, I told them, go in day 1, day 2, if you want to grind a little bit more the first week, sure. But that second week, you really got to be like headstrong and not play more than an hour, because even like I know you're streaming or something, right? Like you just got to sacrifice the stream for the title, bro. Like, and then that last day, just keep an eye on it. And ZVG and Sax both went in on the last day and started queuing. And I remember going into the chat saying, "What are you doing? Just watch the board. You can go in when it starts to get close." But like then they threw fights. Threw fights, and that's what happened. And because they were matching with weird Andes that were insane RP below them, trying to queue up the last day to get their RP, or they happened to match into the Japanese player because the queue opened up on the last few days. And then it's like, not only did you just lose RP, but you just gave the Japanese player RP.
Yeah,
right?
A chunk of it too.
All for a risk, right? All for a risk of potentially gaining RP, because they could have queued into some Andy and lost. You don't know that. Instead, you were higher up on the board and you gave them more RP than what they would have gotten from some random guy. It's a real strategy based thing. Yeah. The second season was I'm not even joking. I was just casually playing, like streaming it and stuff, and Piggy and Zafir were like, "Yo, let's get a tie. Let's just see if we can just like get the same RP and just like get a 3-way North America title tie," because Japanese players were tying at the time, and it's just whatever. Depending on how you view that, I don't care about ties. I think it's whatever.
Everybody wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter as long as you just don't queue up, right? It's just kind of like an honor thing.
Yeah.
And we were there was a point where Piggy was 1 RP below us, and he just needed 1 RP to tie with Zafir and I, because we were both tied for first. And then Piggy lost his fight, so then me and Zafir had to go in and like throw a fight to like try and match the RP difference, and it just became a thing where like last second, I just happened to be the one with the most points at the time, so I just won. Like that was just a casual season, surprisingly.
And this was still with the terrible grind of 1 RP per win or something.
with one RP, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. Well, I'm gonna pass the bucket over to Desla. What questions you got for Billy?
I don't want to give you like the impossible task of like make you predict like big time celebrations and shit, because we aren't really close just yet to where we have a pretty reasonable idea of what to expect. I mean, we could obviously take shots in the dark of like what's I guess missing. Maybe a revival of Super Vegito or something like that could probably like find its way into the mix or whatever. But more so, a better question to ask I think would be for an upcoming episode campaign or like thematic campaign anyway, what would be like, dude, holy like I can't believe they just did that.
Okay, like before anniversary or before the anniversary?
Before
The anniversary. Honest to God, I would be very surprised if they dropped another movies campaign.
I mean,
Like a Dragon Ball Super Broly themed, like, because
Uh,
that's always like headlining a festival or an anniversary, like Dragon
Oh,
Ball
yeah.
Super Broly specifically. So if they drop that before the anniversary, I would be in absolute shock because like then what's gonna drop for the anniversary? Like,
Well,
like
yeah, right. No, right. I mean, dude, like they've shown though as of as of late, they're not afraid to drop hype
Yeah.
units during like monthly, like month
or
to month releases.
or superhero. Like if they did superhero again, like before they
Mhm.
like what? Like there's just no way they do that. Like you
I
know,
don't really quite know what they could do for superhero though at this point because I think they've checked every box. I mean, the
the
best they
last
could
thing.
probably do is like maybe like a Gohan and Piccolo tag
Yeah,
unit. That's all I can really
yeah.
think of, and
That's
that's
the
definitely
exact
not
thing that I was
being a
thinking of.
monthly slot. Hell no. They'd
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
dumb as hell to do that. But whatever. Yeah, no. I mean, for me personally, dude, I'll be honest with you. It's Saiyan Saga. If
It
that
needs love.
happens, oh my god. Like if I get a ×4 Kaioken Kamehameha Goku like an LF, like I hope it happens no time soon because I just dropped like a pretty sizable amount of CC for Gohan, man.
Dude, there's
Tax return
so
check
many
gone.
moments that like I really want to see get buffed like before the anniversary, but because of Gohan, it's like, do I really want to see it now? Like,
Yeah, I
like
know. That's
Battle of
why.
Gods. Like my bias wants Battle of Gods or Resurrection F next,
Oh, I also don't want Battle of God. Okay,
but
so full
like my
transparency
wallet
on
doesn't
this.
want it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Full transparency, Battle of Gods is my favorite Dragon Ball movie. Period. Just straight up. If we got Revival Godku, I think I probably break down because I
Yeah.
have to. I'm probably gonna see an overdraft in my bank account anyway. Bro, oh my god, I really don't want that anytime soon, man. Don't. I really hope
I,
yeah, just beat
bro,
that into existence, bro. Holy.
Ultra Beerus would be something for me.
Ooh, that'd be.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
dude,
about that
Gaki
time.
yeah.
divine intervention,
He
man,
needs something.
because it's. I mean, the best you got is like UI sign, then Evo Can, then like what's your third?
Yeah, and then we're looking at LF Gogeta Blue Zenkai real soon. Like, there's just like
And
outside of
dude,
me just hoping for that, but
I'm
like, come on.
sorry, but if I'm not even a huge Gogeta Blue fan or whatever, or Gogeta fan in general, but like. If they don't Zenkai the unit this year,
Exactly.
what is happening? Like seriously,
Exactly.
like what is the holdup? I don't understand why they're waiting.
I really think
2025.
we're just getting another LF Gogeta Blue because they're so far past the point of Zenkaiing that like when they Zenkai him, power creep is just so ludicrous.
Will it even
I don't know,
matter?
man.
Yeah, no,
D-
I mean they could go the route of like dropping a premium and then they
Dokkan did it.
Zenkai
Why
form.
can't we? You know, I'm just saying. You
Yeah,
know?
that's all I'm saying. I got you. But no, and then my second question I have for you is, at any point in this game's history, what would you probably say was like your favorite time to play?
Favorite time to play? Oh God.
Yeah.
Probably. This goes back. I want to say when Final Form Cooler Zenkai,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I dropped the CC to Zenkai 3 him, and that was
Oh,
when
when that
like
was
Zenkai.
mad expensive. Yeah. It
Yeah, it
was.
cost me 7k CC to Zenkai 3 him,
You're still
and
nuts.
I
Yeah.
was using him first form Frieza, LF Frieza,
Mm-hmm.
and I was using the purple transforming cooler, so I was running blue, purple,
Oh,
purple.
dude.
And
Oh,
man, that team was so much fun. Like I was
I
walling
know.
Rush. Kefla wasn't a problem. I hated Kefla I hated Kefla.
Yep.
So you got the
Right there
strike
with
cover
you.
change, the green card, the purples walling, the crits, like yeah, that was such a
Yeah.
fun time. And then
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what? I'm a big Bardock fan. Like not like
Mm.
obviously like oh my god, like Bardock's like no, I think he's cool. And
Oh, yeah.
so the fact that the red transform and Bardock dropped with that Frieza was like I gotta summon on both banners now.
I
Like
mean, yeah. No, dude. I
so
like totally valid. Totally
I,
valid.
I was running it was a Team Bardock, and you know they weren't like obviously some meta team, but like it was back when like you could kind of get away with it. Like when you were good enough, you could run like really mediocre teams, not like today.
Well, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was able to run not just LOE, but I was running Vegeta Clan. I was running
Mm-hmm.
Team Bardock. It's on my streams. Like I was running like Majin Vegeta, Halo Vegeta, and Purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta as my core 3 on Vegeta.
Oh man. Wow. Yeah. Jeez, man. No, I don't know, dude. Like the moment I heard that LOE stuff, man, I don't know. I just got a grin on my face because like I'm looking back. Obviously, the time in which LOE was like popping off when those releases were happening was Golden Showdown, and I don't really need to go into details as to why that season was bad, but I don't know, man. Like just being able to use, for me, it was I think it was First Form, and then Podza, the blue one,
Oh yeah,
and then Yellow Full Power.
that's a
Dude,
throwback.
oh my god! Like it was so simple, but my god, the
Or if you
team
had the
was
tail
just
Vegeta too.
also that I'll be a vehement defender of that guy till the day I die. But anyway,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
a
I miss
throwback.
those. I
The
miss
final
those.
form Frieza, because I know exactly what team you're talking about too, because I used that before like the first form LF, before LFs were a thing. I was using the green tail Vegeta, yellow final form Frieza, and then I used Zarbon.
Wow.
Wow. It's about time we got a new
Man.
Zarbon, you know?
Transforming
Transforming,
Zarbon.
yeah,
Transforming.
100%.
Cool. All right, so then we'll pass the bucket over to Opsto.
Hey yo, what was your least favorite unit to go up against? Like ever?
Okay.
I'm gonna laugh.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I have a lot of PTSD from Zenkai 18.
That's
Yo,
Yellow
fair.
one.
Real.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
a lot of PTSD from her.
You
And
don't
that
want
might
her
be.
to get an equip?
Oh hell no.
Hell no.
Hell fucking no.
She could say no.
Yeah, for real. No, but
She can fuck off.
I mean that might be why that, that might be why I think I hated Rose a lot, which is funny because I love Goku Black. Is that like you try to mitigate damage by swapping and they just get card draw speed and card draw speed and it's like, dude, you did nothing to deserve this. Like why?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for
so-
activating my mechanic.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's a tie between 18, the Zenkai Fat Boo because you could just lock and rush. I hated
Oh
that.
my god.
And then I hated those two metas, or those two characters. Oh, the tag droids.
Yes, sir.
I
My
hated
man,
the tag droids.
I also,
Real.
dude,
Oh
I
my
also
God.
hate it
Real.
with a
That
burning passion,
fucking
bro.
green card, bro.
Thank God
Holy
USG and Revhon, dude, because like that lock-in snipe with every time I sniped 18, bro. Oh, I mean, you guys
So
know
satisfying.
that's yeah. Like I have all the clips on my Twitch where it's just like
yeah,
Gogeta
no
coming in and Tapion just like sealing the strike cards. All right, bet tackle into ult. You're done. GG's. Get out of here.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah.
All right, and what was your least favorite meta ever?
Meta. Least favorite meta, huh? It might be the tag droid meta. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, I'm gonna be
go.
honest.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. The Whis MUI and tag droids was just like so brain dead. Like, come on, bro.
Oh yeah,
Like,
fourth anime sucked. It was awful.
Bro, do you want a
Terrible.
clip of me just one-shotting all three of them with blue Gamma 2?
No shot, bro. Yeah, send that over to me. I want to see that.
Yeah, this
All right.
man had the gammas, the OG sparking gammas, like almost 14 stars, and
That's
that man.
crazy. I know
Like,
a lot
keep
of
in
people
mind,
will say the
this was-
Beast meta was their least favorite, but
And keep in mind, the entire enemy team was also 14 star.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's actually
That's
crazy.
like this is stars.
I think just like kind of like because I know people are gonna say the Beast meta is like their least favorite when Blue Beast dropped. I think because let's be honest, everyone's summoned for Blue Beast Gohan. Like that's
Oh yeah, for sure.
so like I think it was one of those things where like yeah, it's a coin flip and it's a 50-50, but half of that was decisive on you making the right call and you just being smart, essentially, right? Like
Yeah.
like there's going to be instances where like yeah, okay, I can't do anything, I'm just dead. But like what did you do to put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
Right? Like
Right.
if you had a swap and you just stayed in, why did you not swap? There's just like or like why just let the other character go. Like there's going to be times where you just have to let a character go and you just chose to like risk a hit and it's like I don't know.
And then you lose
The meta
game.
was the meta was very coin flip and it wasn't like a great meta. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a great meta, but I think there was an aspect about it that allowed me to like really take advantage of it, and I did well in it because I was able to just make the right calls that I needed to make.
All right, my first question is: so you play PvP a lot, and you know that you kind of meet people that are up high in rank. That's low key how I first met you. Because
Yep.
I would always fight you in PvP. I'd be like, who the fuck is naming themselves Billy? My mind immediately would always go to like, thinking about like, here's a little kid named Billy playing the game, and I'd be like, hold on, this nigga got hands. And so how do you feel about like, the community of like high ranking players and like the competitiveness of the game? How do you feel about it?
I really like how a lot of the high-ranking players have kind of gravitated towards one another, and a lot of players that just like are in the rankings are kind of like friends with each other now. So I think that's just like really cool that like as a community we've kind of grown over the years. But I will say though that the game has become less competitive as the years have gone on in terms of just like units are just so ludicrous that it's like okay. It's just like so I think I don't know. I enjoy fighting against people I know. I would much rather fight people I know and have a no rush fight and lose to not RNG, right?
I understand that. I understand that. My next question is regarding the game. What is one feature in PvP, feature or just feature? What is one feature in PvP you'd like to see added? Because I know some people have always talked about the idea of like teams having like a team item that's brought into the match. What is something that like you would want to see added to this game, like for PvP?
Is this just one thing or can I say multiple things?
You can go ahead and say multiple.
Okay, so I really want to see leader slot get a restriction. Just some
Yeah, some
like
guardrails.
yeah, like I really think it would be a really good idea to just make it so that like whatever unit you bring with the leader, like if you put say Ultra Gogeta Blue in the leader slot, you can put him on whatever team. But the minute you click on his icon, it's gonna block out any units that don't share at least one tag with him. So I think that if you bring a leader slot character, they need to share at least one tag with the other characters you're bringing to battle with them.
Mm.
So you can kind of mix and match some things, right? Like Gohan wouldn't work on androids unless it's a Cell Saga android team,
So they have to like
No.
share like a same tag or same saga,
right?
some kind of
Just
restriction there.
at,
So
at
you,
least one,
yeah, so you can't put Gohan on like movies or something, or maybe
right?
like movie regen. Like they have
Yeah,
no connection whatsoever.
yeah. Like if it was like a Sun Family movies team, it would work because they had Sun Family hybrids, right? Like it's just
Yeah,
that
that
works.
works.
So yeah, I mean, I think, and it would really help with just like the meta not being like the same X teams every time, unless like like a wave of one tag just got buffed insanely, then that's different. But
GT.
I don't know. I think it would help diversify things just a little bit. So there's that's probably the most requested thing. A rematch feature. I would love a rematch feature, just not to the extent that
Proud
Proud
did.
Battle did it. Yeah, where like you have to
Yeah.
bring a different team. Like just let me just rematch with the same team. Like let me just get my run back, and just do best out of 3. And if you lose the second fight again, then that's it. If you
Yeah.
win the second fight, then you can go into a Proud Battle, and they can integrate it into normal PvP where it's just the third fight. And that's just it. Like
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea. Not this whole separate season where like you have to no like that. It was fun for like the first few days because it was new and like it changed things up a little bit. But like after a while, it was just like okay, like I just want to use this character. Can I please just use this character?
Yeah, it almost instantly started to piss
Yeah.
everybody off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Glow hates that
Uh,
mode.
and then I
Oh,
think
that's
a
cool.
no rising rush option should be a thing where like if both players check out like in the pregame lobby, like when you queue with somebody and it shows your team, there could be like 2 checkboxes for rising rush on or off, and if both players hit off, then there's just no rush for that fight. I think that would be
That's
really
valid.
cool.
That's valid. That's valid. And my last question is leg day, chest day, back to air cardio. Which one are you taking?
What am I taking? Uh, you know, I think a year ago I would have said chest, but I think nowadays I'm gonna say back.
Okay, I thought you were about to say leg, and I was about to be scared for a second.
No, 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 no. I mean, listen, I love leg day, but not like that.
You got to use them after
That
that.
dude, the lat pull down has become an insanely favorite exercise of mine as of recent.
Really?
Yeah, I started using straps on my lat pull downs, and it's activated my back a lot more when doing so, and it's just the feeling I get is just so good when I'm doing lat pull downs. Like,
I've
We
had to
need to
be
connect offline on that. I want to get the
yeah,
straps
hit me
tech
up.
there.
I've had to be so careful now with lat pull downs because I had a previous injury in the army in my left shoulder. So every once in a while, I'll be doing back. I'll feel like a little sting and like a little knot in the back of there. I'm
Yeah.
like, nope. Mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, don't
Oh
mess with
man.
don't
that.
do
That's
that.
why that's why doing like taking the 5-pound dumbbells and just doing like lateral raises and front raises just to like warm up your shoulders is super important.
Yeah, chest day has always been my thing because I don't
Love
know,
chest.
like I love everything on chest except bench press.
What's the bench
Funny
lifting
enough,
like?
horrendous. I'm 6'2" and I have long arms. You already know what's gonna happen. Like,
Hey, man.
bro,
He said
I don't know what
135
it,
only.
I don't know what it is if it's chest, biceps, anything. But for some, and here's funny enough, my incline bench press is like 310.
Damn.
My normal bench press is like low 200s.
How much did you say you weigh?
I weigh 240 right now.
Okay. Damn, you're not
Yeah.
even bench. So your flat
Yeah.
bench is what, 210, low
Like
200s.
low 200s.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm telling you, my flat
You got a
bench,
strong
I don't
chest
know.
though, because your incline is good, and I'm sure when you do pec flies, you're moving a lot of weight too, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like flat bench is just it kills me. I don't know what it is.
Might
It's
be your
like my
shoulder.
It's
arm.
by the shoulder. It's the
It
left shoulder.
it's probably the shoulder because I feel like I'm pushing more chest and less stress on my shoulder when I'm doing incline. So it like incline has always been higher for me, and me and my cousins and my friends have always said that like, bro, you are weird as hell that like your incline is normal than your flat bench.
My incline is horrendous, bro. I gotta work on it. Like I be trying, but like it's bad.
That's
My
funny.
flat bench is pretty good. Like I'm like 150 pounds, and my flat bench is at like 185, like consistently
That's good. That's
for
good.
for 3. So like that's like usually what I work with is just like I'll go up to 185, do 3, and then I'll do like singles of 205, and then kind of just like go to like pec flies or whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually what I'll do is I'll like tire myself out with like slow push-ups at the end of every chest day.
That's
Just
good.
slow
That's good.
diamond push-ups and just do that. But man, I remember going to my doctor. My doctor was like, bro, you've had way too many like small injuries all over your body that you're like, you gotta start stretching before and after, like consistently.
Yep. That also comes with age too. Don't sleep on stretching. You have to stretch. You have to warm up.
Calling me out, bro. You're calling me out.
All right. Well, then that ends our special guest segment, rapid fire question round. Let's move into the Dragon Ball Legend or Dragon Ball news for our final segment. Not a lot going there except the news that everybody knows about regarding Akira Toriyama. But that is pretty much it for Dragon Ball related news. So that's it for the Rising Rush podcast. If you haven't showed a like or a follow, please do. We have episodes on Spotify and also on YouTube. So if you want to go and search it up on YouTube or the other platforms, guarantee you'll see it there. If you have any questions, you want to comment on some of the content we discuss, leave that in the comment section below. And again, we'll be back next week to talk more Dragon Ball meta things. Hope you guys have a great evening.
See y'all later.
Peace. See ya.
See ya.